Oh man, let me turn this down real quick. Okay, change the expression to normal. Make her just a bit bigger. Okay, all right. Fan has been turned off. I should be clearer. I don't know how clear I am because currently cannot see the stream. But yeah, let's just see. I'm a real fan of, well, the mod. Let me tell you, the image itself. There is something that just is currently bothering me right now that I would like to fix, but that would take a while, and I've already taken so long to just make this. Like, it definitely wouldn't take too long to repeat the V2, not even VTuber, the PNGTuber process. That's that's quick and easy. Just snap and it's done. But there's something with the hair that is just bugging me. Currently, I'm not doing anything about it right now, but it's fine. And I doubt anybody's in chat at this time. It is 8:30 after all. Oh boy. Oh, I can see Miss Wendigo getting laggy in real time. Real time. Now I'm just gonna leave this open in case anybody comes in. The chance of them come. Let me turn my mic down a little bit because I see it peaking too. As I was saying, yeah, the chance of anybody coming in at this time, 8:30, is very low. It, I need to sort my sleeping schedule out because I feel like just within a few minutes, maybe an hour or two, I'll be out cold. And when I do try to get a good sleep schedule, let's say, okay, 11 is not a good time to sleep, but let's say I fall asleep at like 11 p.m. maybe. I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and that's a very unfortunate thing. So when I do try to do something about it, it doesn't work. But if I just let it be, then I'll just be stuck with a bad sleep schedule. It happens. It's fine. But here we are. Here we have Miss Wendigo. She is a she's a unique sort, I'd say. Just a little more. Move her over. See her in her full glory. Yeah. Um it's really funny because if I were to make this like a little more fleshed out, because I saw something that was like VitoTube Plus or something. And when I saw VitoTube Plus, it had this cool thing where you could play around with like layers and stuff and have it not be as simple as this. But I'm just using this to test the waters right now. So I'm not going to do all of that just yet. Just showing you Miss Wendigo right now. Because she has a whole lot of things that you currently aren't seeing. For example, she has two different hands. Look at her right hand. You see how it's like up and it's just like a nub, right? Um, I could have had a toggle where it would either be a finger just like pointing up. You know that actually thing? She would have had her finger like that, or she would have just had an open hand as if she's explaining something, which would have been really good to have if I were to make this a VTuber instead of a PNGTuber. Also, I find it really interesting when people make like the advanced PNG tubers with all the layers and stuff. I could have done that, and I was thinking to myself, huh, wouldn't it be nice? But then there was some hesitation along the path. It would take too long to explain. And I realized that's my answer to literally everything. It would take too long to explain. Sometimes it really would take too long to explain. And it happens, I guess. But yeah, aside from the hair bothering me a whole lot, I think she came out fine. Yeah, the and one thing that's interesting is like look at the faux fur collar scarf. I don't know what you'd call it. I'm just gonna call it a faux fur collar. If you look at it, you'll see some interesting lighting going on. Yeah, right here. Uh, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is right now, but yeah, if you look, you'll see that it has like little puffs of light, I guess. Little bumpy edges. I don't know what to call them, but you'll see like on the right side, that's where the light in the full art piece where the window is, that's where the light's coming from, so it has more of it there. But then you'll see tiny little outlines farther away from it. What else? Yeah. So if I press Q, she has this. W. It's just the full QWERTY. Wait. No, I think it's just QWERT without the E because of how many expressions there are. But yeah, Q, W, E, uh, R, T. Yes, I added what would it be called? I added the 2010s epic face, just because I could. Because you can. Sometimes you just add things because you can add them. I was gonna um I was gonna add some like metallic lighting and shading on her chain because it's made of some kind of metal. However, what happened? I remember I was struggling a little bit to make the chain, so after I finished that, I just couldn't be bothered to shade it metallically, metallica. I was gonna say like little, but that's AC/DC, not the same thing. What songs is Metallica known for anyway? I don't know. But look, I even included the Flying Lizard. Can't have Miss Wendigo without it. Has there ever been a single? I guess there is that one thing, but that doesn't count because it wasn't finished. I was gonna say, like, oh, has there ever been a time where I've drawn Miss Wendigo without the flying lizard being present next to her? And you saw the early Krita. No, not Krita. You saw the early Ibis Paint prototype of Miss Wendigo's VTuber model, where it was like it had a more painted feel to it rather than being made of vectors. Yeah, that one, where the colors aren't so vibrant. She didn't even have her hat in that one, and her fingers looked way. I messed up big time on the fingers for that one, but it's fine because that is not the finished product. And there's also like she had red nails too. Oh, that was an interesting approach. What else? Yeah, I don't know if any of you really care, but I just think the antlers really ground everything and center it. Because if you take her antlers away, you won't really see her for much. But then if you put the antlers on her, it's that detail that makes it clear she's Miss Wendigo. And that's a very important detail and it needs to be expressed somehow in some way. Crazy how antlers are like they're made of bone. Like they're the actual bone of the creature. That's an interesting thing. I wonder how many people just like they didn't get to tune into the stream because of like whatever their situation was, and then they just tune into like after the stream. I guess the VOD? Would I even call it a VOD? I don't know. They tune into the stream after it went live rather than during, and they just listen to me blabber on. Um, man, but yeah, I think that the Miss Wendigo PNG tuber is gonna be something I'll be implementing into future videos if I decide to do commentary of any sort, because I could talk for a long time if I wanted to. Usually I don't really wanna, but people have gotten me into talking more. And there's also the fact that if you leave me alone by myself while I'm just watching YouTube, I'll talk a whole lot. I think it's because I've watched so many reaction videos on YouTube to where even when I'm not making any kind of YouTube video, I'll just do a bunch of commentary and reactions over it. Do a whole bunch of pausing so that I can do the reactions. I don't know if you're hearing that, but just like there's some bird outside going, it's like, uh, interesting how different kinds of birds will just start doing their calls at different times of the day. You'll have like the morning dove, the 2015 bird that's like every time I hear that one, I get a whole lot of nostalgia and clarity, I guess. It's an interesting one. What else? Do, 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 do. Yeah, I don't really know species like that. One thing I will say is there are a few pretty cool ones. Like I just mentioned the mourning dove, but then you'll have the black-capped chickadee. Depending on where you live, you might hear a high-pitched bird call that goes cheese. It sounds like it's saying cheeseburger, and I find that really fun. Do you ever just listen to your voice and it's like, what is that? I do that a little too often. I hope you guys like just like how I did the gradients on certain parts and pieces of this. But yeah, there's the mourning dove, the black-capped chickadee. Then there's the white bellbird, which is apparently like the loudest bird, I think. It goes like that's an interesting weird one. And then you have the what's it called? No, not the black hat. I mentioned that already. The American woodcock. That's what it's called. The American woodcock is that you've you've probably seen it in a few memes before, but it just shrugs and goes "Meh, meh," and I find it really funny. And a lot of other people do too. But then you hear cassowaries. Jeez, I'm peas. Cassowaries, dude. They will just uh-uh. One, they are dangerous and lethal. Two, they have they have like a waddle on their chin that looks like a very wrinkly scrotum, dude. It sucks. And then to top it all off, to add insult to all this injury, salt in the wound. They have the audacity to go. No, it's more like I can't imitate it right now. It's like I cannot get it in. Pause. But it's a really weird sound they like to make. 8:45 a.m. Wait, how long has this stream been going on for? It's been going on for okay. It's been going on for 16 and a half minutes. That's fine. Yeah. Uh this PNG tour will definitely run way smoother than if I were to try and do Miss Wendigo as a VTuber. And with this PNG tuber, I feel like if I really wanted to, I could just pump out a whole bunch of shorts. That's what everybody does these days. They get a PNG tuber, they put some blurred gameplay in the background, and then they just talk. Oh, do you hear that one? Like that bird just like there it is. Wow. Uh, By the way, I'm still working on that cartoon that I keep talking about. I don't know if you guys are hearing that bird, but it's like it is just invading my mind. Just see, I just did it at the same time as when it said it. Also, I just read a notification that said encoding overloaded. I hope the stream didn't pause or anything. That'd be bad. It's fine. But, what was I gonna say? Okay, I talked about how people just talk with their PNG tuber over blurred gameplay, just cranking and churning out shorts. But I definitely could go that route if I so desire. Well, I wouldn't desire it, but if I just felt like it, I definitely could do that. And yeah, I'm still working on that cartoon that I keep talking about with Chang and Black and Moo and How and everybody like that. And I thought about something, I think it was yesterday or the day before that. I was like, oh, why didn't I just bring Electron back? I theoretically could do that, but I'd have to find a way to fit it into my current script. Because as it currently stands, there's like one space I can kind of fit it into. Big fat emphasis on kinda. Because I don't want to rush too many things. After all, animation takes time, and if you want to make a cartoon you consider good, you have to take some precious time working out exactly what you need. And there's something that I had planned for like when I make it, this just like the sound design. What I'm thinking is So after I have the voices recorded and the animation done, I go into Band Lab and then I make I think it's called like dynamic music. It's like music and orchestral stings will happen just like as somebody's jumping or attacking or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Uh, yeah. I'm just trying to find things to talk about because I just want to show off this cool new PNG tuber of Miss Wendigo. Uh, what else? Yeah. Yeah, there are 5 species of lizard, but I'm not even sure if I'll make 5 different like VTubers to have each of those species. Because if I'm being honest, I went into my sketchbook and I just designed the first kind of flying lizard, and then I was like, ooh, what if I made different variants? And then the one you're seeing now came into play. And then I was like, one more. Then that one with the thicker thighs came into existence. Then I was like, why stop at 3? I could go for 5. Then I added the one that's like radiation and the lab grown man made one. I I have officially been here for 22 minutes just rambling and nattering about nothing. Yeah, but I think that is, what is that? Okay, it's nothing. I thought I heard something terrible. Call me schizo at that point. But yeah, I think that in going forward, this PNG tuber we have here is gonna be a nice little piece of churn and crank content. And I think it's time for me to end the stream. I've had the live chat open for the longest time, but since it is literally about to be 9 a.m., I don't blame people for not being here. And I think that is my cue to end the stream. Bye.